Oh my god, I am so sorry. The entire time, there was nothing. Nothing! Oh, alright, I am sorry. I'm gonna go back into that. But, effectively, yeah, it is one of those things where I didn't even notice there was no mic. But okay, we'll start the intro again. Alright, so yesterday we did a switch swap from clicky switches on this K6 from Keychron into the Healios switches by Zeal PC. However, they're not quite as quiet as I would like, despite being silent switches, right? As you can see here. There's a little bit of ping, and the space bar and the anything with stabs effectively aren't great either. Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be moving them, or lubing them today. We'll take them off the board and then lube them, and then we'll see how they sound afterwards. I'm going to do what's it called? A typing test first, and then just as a typing test first, and then we'll do a quote just as a sound test. Alright, let's go. Okay. There we go, 82 words per minute, 92% accuracy. Not too bad. But yeah, as you can hear, it is way too noisy in comparison to what it was. But what it was clicky switches, so I guess you can, as you can hear that was literally one switch. That's literally one. So no, that's that is just a no. Just a no. But you can hear that other keyboard over here. That's the GMK numpad. It's okay. It's somewhat useful. There are sirens in my background. Hopefully you guys can't really hear it. I can hear it just clearly. But effectively, we'll just be doing a quote for the sound test. But we'll wait until the sirens go off. Alright. Let's see. Let's change the settings. Let's go into quote. Alright. Forbidden seas land on barbarous coasts. Let's talk about the quote first, because it looks like the sirens will take a while. And it reads, "As for me, I am tormented with an everlasting itch for things remote. I love to sail forbidden seas and land on barbarous coasts." Everlasting itch for things remote. This is kind of a poetic way to just say, yeah, I would like to go for things that are just out of reach. Possible, but out of reach. In other words, it's there, but you know, you just can't quite grab it with your hands. Okay. What else is going on? I love to sail forbidden seas and land on barbarous coasts. Forbidden seas. Places you shouldn't go and places that are too dangerous. I mean, yeah, places you shouldn't go, and a lot of times people say, oh, you can't do that. Why? Because you can't. But why? If you don't understand why you can't do something, that means you can't do it simply for the fact, oh, you can't do it because it's too dangerous, aka land on barbarous coasts. If you know it's dangerous and you know what danger you're facing, you can take proper steps to ensure that you aren't in harm's way as much as you normally would be. And that's a lot to do with the science of things as well, where people go, oh, hey, no, the sun goes around the earth, and then the moon also goes around the earth, and people thought that for a long time, and now that's not the case. People think it the other way around instead of this way, where the solar system revolves around the sun. What is going on today? There's a lot of cars today. I'm gonna close the window and hope I don't suffocate myself to death by accident, but it should be fine because it is relatively cold in the room, and it's not nothing crazy in particular. All right, let me just close that. That way you can do a sound test on this quote. Boom. That's a lot of noise isolation just by closing a window, honestly. The problem is, even though there are small holes in the windows where it allows you to breathe, because if you close all the windows in a room, especially this small enclosed room at the end of a hallway, it's not the best, honestly. It's not the best. But all right, let's go through this quote, and then we can start lubing the switches. K65. Alright, that's not bad. Oh, Moby Dick. I wouldn't have thought. But yeah, everlasting itch for things remote. Let me say here. As for me, I am tormented with an everlasting itch for things remote. I love to sail forbidden seas and land on barbarous coasts. Yes, that is the quote. Not a bad quote. It's basically love for all things that are unknown. And going through the dangers to reach it. Anyways. Alright. Let's do that. Let's get some music up in here. Alright, there we are. Okay, let's start this. We'll take this, we'll turn this off. And I think, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but if you guys were able to hear that, because I was silent for the first few. But this has a USB-C on the side of the keyboard. So it's not really, I don't really like this. It's fine if you're just connecting it here and there. But it is a Bluetooth keyboard, so as long as you're just charging it and then using it, you should be good. But alright, let us take out the keycaps. These keycaps are relatively thin too, so that might actually affect the sound more than I think, but that's to come with the territory of more budget-friendly enthusiast keyboards, or at least the budget side of things. For example, because I know now Keychron isn't too bad, but we will find out. I should be able to get a Keychron keyboard. I think they are on sale at one point, especially this coming, what's it called? It's called, what's it, Boxing Day? I think that's after Christmas, the Friday after Christmas or the day after Christmas, where a lot of sales happen. And honestly, for those who are saving money like me, because I'm close to there, effectively, for those who are saving money, trying to save money, when it comes to Boxing Day, when you buy things that you believe will last a year. That way, when you come around the next year, you can buy another one, and it could be either your spare set or your hobby set, or things just for you to just enjoy. You don't have to do everything all the time just because you need it. And I know there are a lot of people who buy things, and I mean me included. You can see all the headphones in the back over there. There's literally 8 headphones, who buy things just for a hobby. And honestly, all those headphones that I have right now, those 8, I bought one for each year. That is one a year, including these ones. So this is 9. I've been collecting headphones for almost 10 years now, but I haven't been only collecting keyboards for 5 years. And that means that I only have, relatively speaking, 5 keyboards. But when I first started in the mechanical keyboard hobby, I started with gaming keyboards. For example, the Corsair K70. Horrible. It makes this sound fine. This is more acceptable in comparison to the Corsair keyboards, at least back in the day. So take that as you will, I suppose. And honestly, I don't hate them for it, because that actually got me into the mechanical keyboard hobby even further, because I thought, oh, just buy mechanical keyboard, it feels better, it sounds better, it's better overall, and they're not entirely wrong. However, I had a relatively high-end laptop at the time, which was at the time going to 7 years old and was working just fine, but it was starting to die down. And yes, it is one of those things when it does start to die down, you just kind of have to leave it as is. It's not the worst thing, but it's not the best thing either. And the reason why I got into the mechanical hobby, keyboard hobby even farther was simply because they weren't as good as I thought they would be, coming from a decent laptop. And I used to use chiclet keys, making the large post travel or the large travel distance feel kind of wrong, you know, inadequate, I guess you can say. But it wasn't the most comfortable, especially when you're hitting into hard plastic. And I tend to type relatively hard, therefore you can still hear stuff like silent switches. If you're typing in a relative moderate force on silent switches, they are relatively silent. You can probably not hear them. If I was to type on them normally, I have to put them right next to the mic. Yeah, that's the normal force I think people would use. I, on the other hand, kind of slam into the keys a little bit too hard. Yeah. So, yeah, that's one of the things. And at one point, I think 2 years into owning, or second year of owning the gaming keyboard, I wanted to bring it to work. And then I realized it was way too loud for work. I was doing tech support, and no. In a cubicle with a bunch of people, I understand that there are a lot more people who are talking right next to me, and that'll probably be louder, but adding to the noise doesn't help either. So I decided to look into switches like the Healios, and at the time I think it was only the Xylants that were available from Zeal PC. So I bought those, and because they were touted as really good switches, they have silent versions, so I just grabbed those. Alright, looks like we have 4 Phillips that are holding this together, and some hex screws as well. I don't know if I have to take off the hex screws to open this up, but let's remove the switches first, and then we can worry about the rest of it. Where did my switch puller go? I had it to my right. Ever do that to yourself where you put something, it's ready, it's there, and then it's no longer anywhere to be seen? Yeah. Then again, there is also a cat in the house, so I'm just hoping they didn't chew on it. You know? I do not want to use the bad one. I say the bad one because it exists. Okay. I'm gonna look for that real quick, and there you go. Oh my god, it looks like 2 keyboards, guys. Nope, it doesn't. Is it down here? Is it covered? I really have to buy a really good keycap puller. Switch puller, actually. The problem is I don't think a lot of Canadian vendors sell any of the good ones. So, no. I do know that much. Oh, those are my scissors. What's the alternative? I'll leave you here. I'm pretty sure you're somewhere in here. Nope. I'm lying to myself. Why am I lying to myself? God damn it. Bum. Okay. Just make sure. Yeah, I have no idea where they are. I'm gonna make a quick sweep of the room. Just make sure they didn't fall down. Alright, I found them. They're right in front of my face. I was literally looking at them the entire time. It's literally on my PC. Okay. Alright, time to take off these switches. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it looks like the stabilizers are bone dry. Let me... I don't know if I can show you guys this, but... Grab... one. Not really bone... Let me see. I think this would be a better camera for this. You can probably see there's not much lube in there. But yeah, so might be doing that. I'll take them apart, lube them with the same Krytox 205 grade 0. Should be correct. There is a batch number. This feels very much like the aircraft industry, where the batch number is a very important thing and is recorded in everything. You get oil, you record the batch number. You get a screw, you record the batch number. You get a piece of aluminum, you get the production number. Is it production number? Batch number. I can't remember. Sheet number. But yeah, everything. If you're aircraft maintenance, I don't entirely envy you. But yeah, if those who aren't aware, everything. Oh, it's just to show there is a batch number. Batch. But yeah, everything from lube to oil to gas. You have to say, hey, by the way, I use this very specific canister of gas, this very specific canister of lube, this very specific canister of, what's it called? Very specific canister of oil? Question mark? Yeah. And paint. Even the paint. Jesus. Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know. Well, I say it's crazy, but that's one of the things why I don't think it's a job or a thing, yeah, a job you would like all the time. It is a lot more paperwork than you would actually think it would be. It is just mostly paperwork and then some mechanical job. It's not even engineering specifically, because with aircraft maintenance you have to follow the spec as much as possible. So if there is a spec for it, then you follow that. If there is no technical spec for it, there is a book that shows you, oh, by the way, if there is no spec, here is the spec for it. So even the fact that there is no instructions shouldn't bother you. It's weird. And then not only that, you need to have it signed off yourself that you've checked and done the work. You have to go to your supervisor to then say, hey, by the way, I did the work, can you double check it? Have them sign off on it, and you can't skip these steps, by the way. You have them sign off on it, and once they've signed off on it, then you're good. You can move on to the next step, which is literally screw another thing onto the airplane. And after that, once that's done, people have to go through a walkover. So now that it's there, it's in the pilot's hand, so to speak, and practically ready to go for the to the customer, or the airline, I guess you would say. You have to get the inspector to take a look at it, or the the supervisor to take a look at it and go, okay, go through preliminary checks. Once that's done, it's signed off, and once that's signed off, it's good to go to the pilot. The pilot does the same thing. They go through their preliminary checks, have that sign off, and if they have a supervisor, they will, unless they're the supervisor, I guess, they will have to actually go have that signed off as well. In other words, there is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 checks before you even get on the plane as a passenger. So there's a reason why air travel is a terribly safe thing to do. 5 different checks, at least in Canada. I don't know what it is in the US and all the other places in the world. However, I do know that in Canada, you're going to go through at least 5 checks before getting on the plane as a passenger. So there is that. Oh my god. But I don't know. A lot of people think it's still unsafe. But it makes sense because you are in a hunk of metal flying thousands and thousands of feet in the sky. But yes. Anyways, yeah, the Healios switches, they're not bad per se, they're just very pingy. And I believe these types of enthusiast switches, they are meant to be lubed first. And they aren't beginner friendly, so to speak. They might be lubed. I don't actually know. Oh, I will be opening them up in a bit and seeing if they have some lube on it. But I highly doubt that. And we're going to be taking this apart just to take it apart and check. What is that? To check if I can fix these stabilizers. Probably have to lube them and it should be better. And hopefully it will be absolutely silent or terribly quiet, even with me hitting the spacebar or smacking the spacebar harder than Will Smith slap Chris Rock. But it's not a big feat to pull off, honestly. It's such big news too. So bad. But yeah, no, and I think because Will Smith was in an abusive relationship at the time, it's not really, it is reflective of their behavior, but that is their behavior due to what happened to them in the past. Therefore, they want to be with their kids, be with their wife, never leave them, and didn't want to be that person. And this other person took advantage of him. So I can't entirely blame him, but everyone has a choice in what they do. The consequences of their actions, they don't entirely have the biggest choice on that because that relies on external factors. But any choice that you make that affects yourself, or the things you do to other people, that is your choice. You make that choice. That's what I believe. And some people go, oh no, then you don't always have a choice. Yes, but that's when you make decisions, you have the choice. If someone does things to you, those are external factors that affect you, not a decision that you make. However, the decision you make after that point is a decision you make, whether you choose to not do something or to do something. That is your choice at that point. You make a change, no change, little change, some change. What do you do after that point? After something affects you to that degree, basically is what I'm saying. But yeah, it is a controversial-ish issue, but I don't blame everybody because people want to find their way in the world. Me included, and not everyone will ever find their way in the world. Some people leave before then, and that's unfortunate. But other than hearing them on the news, there's nothing much that most people can do about it. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, honestly. All right, grab this guy. Nope, that's not the hex that I'm looking for. Okay, let's start with this. Let's move. Alright, let's see what this has. Ooh, looks like that's tight. It's a factory seal item. Yeah, and when unscrewing things, I almost forgot. Just like in most mechanical jobs, you want to screw in a star pattern, or whenever possible. So in other words, you take one of the corners first, then you go to the opposite corner, and then you go to the middle section. Whenever possible. Yeah. Well, that way you remove things and put things off easily. Yeah, and you prevent what is called torsion? Flex? I don't know the specific term for it, but there is a term for it where that does happen. You end up twisting the board, and that can cause ticking issues on the board itself as well. It looks like this is being held on by these guys. Does this fit too? Or is this too big? No, that is way too big. Let me put that there. Do I have one of the... I do not. I'm gonna get the LTT driver. I believe I have that bit on driver. Honestly, the LTT drivers aren't that bad. They aren't that great either. But I haven't had too many experiences with multiple drivers. It's one of the nicer ones, that definitely. And a lot of people put stock into the price of things, even with keyboards. For example, you can get a relatively cheap keyboard and have similar sound signatures to terribly, terribly expensive keyboards in comparison. And people wouldn't know. And it depends on what you want out of your, let's say, keyboard. Or the thing that you buy. Do you want the clout with it? If you're going for the clout, then yeah, go for name brands that sound expensive. In other words, if I say Louis Vuitton, everyone's like, oh my god, that's a $200 Louis Vuitton, whatever the hell. Do you want a $200 wallet? You know, or do you want $200 in your wallet? That's the question. What are you hoping to achieve with the things that you do with the money that you have? A lot of people go, oh my god, I have to show that I'm rich. You know? And I'm sitting here going, you don't have to show that you're rich. If you want to show that you're rich, pay for their food once in a while. Honestly. Pay for their dessert. Go, when there's a huge group and you just love these guys, they're awesome, you're like, hey, just go to the server and pay for dessert or something like that. And it'll cost you about maybe $100 or so. And everyone's going, no way. You know? You'll be the man. You'll be the man. But you know, you don't just do it because some people feel bad because they don't like that. So you just go like, no, like, hey guys, like I just, you know, I just say something stupid. I had a raise. I wanted to celebrate. Here you guys go. I want to do it with you guys, you know, with friends and stuff like that. And then you'll end up. Oh, Jesus Christ! I forgot wireless. Yeah, gotta be careful with the wireless stuff, guys, because with the wireless stuff, there are batteries involved. Come on. Do I need to unclip this or something? I don't believe so. Come on. Pull out. Make sure to pull out, guys. You do not want a baby on your hands. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's exactly what you want, and that's up to you, but you don't want it, make sure to pull out. Especially if you're not wearing anything. I've been lucky enough. Anyways, yeah, this is the PCB for the Keychron K6. I don't hate it. It is floating. I don't know what's connecting. Oh, I see. It's... What? No way. Are the stabs clip-on? Did I do this for nothing? No way. What is this connected to? Ah, I see. There's two sections here. The stabs are clip-on, aren't they? I thought they were... I thought they were screw-ons. No! What have I done? Well... Oh well, that doesn't matter. We're taking them off anyways, so... Okay, where is my tweezers? Let's clean up a little bit here, guys. That way we're not too cluttered. Tap. Okay. Put that there. We can put... Uh-oh. What is this? What are you? What are you? Ah, I see. I understand. You guys are the switches in them. This is the Mac OS and or other one. Guessing. There we go. We'll put this here. Grab this and so to remove the what's it called? The stabilizers for clip-ons, there is a tab over here. So one of the sides has a tab. You probably see it. There you go. You can push that in. And once you push that in, you should be able to move it up. There you go. It moves up. Do the same thing on the other side. And after doing the same thing on the other side, you should then be able to remove stabilizers. Oh, and it slides out. You'll have to remove all the switches. Well, you don't have to remove all the switches to be able to pull that off. But it is easier if you do so, especially if you're lubing a bunch of switches as well. So I'm going to start with lubing the stabilizers. Looks like they are lubed. They have relatively thin lube on them. Yeah, looks like they were lubed at one point. So, but they still rattle, so I'm going to have to lube them myself. And I think... Do I have silencing pads? So I do have pads that might be able to allow me to make this a lot more silent in comparison. This is also lubed. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not the worst case scenario. Okay. Alright, so all of that's there. We're gonna lube the stabs first, and then we're gonna take these apart. Touch grass, guys. Hello there, Heart Soul. How are you? Yeah, just doing some keyboard work because I'm trying to silence the keyboard. It was way noisier earlier. It was much. It was horrible in comparison to what I want it to be. But we shall see if that will still be the case later. Okay. That's fine. That is fine. Right. Do this. Let me open this up. All right. Where's my lube? There we go. Yeah. Always keep a baggie of the lube stuff, guys, because if you don't have a baggie of the lubes, I think I should split this. Let me put this to the side a little bit here. Put up the lubing section. Working on art using this as background fodder. Oh no. That is horrible background fodder. Just me insulting people. Alright. No, I don't insult people for no reason. But yeah, no, I'm just sitting here trying to lube some stabilizers because they are not lubed quite enough. And then I'm going to be lubing the switches, taking them apart, so on and so forth. There you go. Looks like this was lubed quite well. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Yeah, relatively well. I don't hate it. But let's just remove all of these. And then we will work on them. Yeah, and to remove these, as you can see, there's a bunch of stabilizers here. Let's move them closer to the camera. Basically, all you have to do is twist this way. Twist inwards. So the top sections twist inwards. You should be able to just wiggle the stems out. Oh, these are longer stems than I thought they'd be. Long. Yeah. Oh. And if the stems fall out, don't worry, guys. They normally just go in one way. And it will stop you if you're putting them in wrong, like they are now. So you just poke them up, turn them around, and they will suddenly fit. Let's see. There's a notch. They're relatively hard to put in correctly. See, there's a weird notch there on that top right-hand corner. You're looking at stream. Sure, says Heart Soul. Cool. Hey, look, I wouldn't insult people if they weren't incompetent. Okay? That's how it works. Let me just put this back and put them down. Alright. Let's be chill. Alright. Now that that's done, we're just going to go through the rest of them, and then we're going to lube the switches. Lube the stabilizers, move on to these switches. Yeah, we'll put these back. Maybe give them a quick test while they're on just the PCB. But yeah, some of them are relatively dry, looking at them. So that's probably what's causing a lot of the sound. I'm going to grab a huge dollop of the switches. I know guys like Alex Sotos use dielectric grease. I do not have dielectric grease. And that works more than fine enough, to be honest. And you're thinking, oh no, it might not be the greatest thing. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing. It has to work. That's the thing. You have a problem, you found a solution, whether it's cheap and or expensive, the solution is viable. Therefore, it is usable. Therefore, you don't have to bother with anything else unless you absolutely have to. And then, or if you have a client, demands it, you know? Okay. There we go. So that is a large amount of lube on, as you can see, before it wasn't exactly coated. So the left one is the one I lubed, and the right one was the stock lubing job. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna grab these switches, these stabilizers, and put them in. Okay, with stabilizers, they aren't. God, forgetting. Did I put them in the right way? Yes, I did. Stabilizers, all you have to do is slide them in. There is one orientation, especially with clip-ons. The clip-on would prevent you from going through the wrong way. So as you can see, there's a clip. There's no actual hole there. On the other side, there is a hole. So that's where you're gonna push it in. Probably show this again on other stabilizers, which are not your regular. Oh, jeez, did I put it in the wrong hole? Yes, males, please do not put things in wrong hole. They do not like it like that. Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus! Where? How am I not putting that in? There you go. I just had to take my time. Oddly enough, when it comes to, you know, doing things fast, it's easier or faster to actually think about things and organize yourself to do things faster versus to actually move faster. Because if you make a mistake and have to do the same thing 3 times, it is still slower even if you move much faster than doing them once, so to speak. So if you are thinking, oh my god, I have to get this done really, really quick. First things first, stop panicking. Do not panic. Because if you panic, guess what? You try to move fast and you make mistakes. And then you make mistakes. Guess what? You're doing it all over again. So don't panic. First things first, stop the panic. You don't have to panic. Okay. Alright. Alright, for clip-on stabilizers, you're gonna have to put them back in. To put them back in, you want to slot them back through where the switch would normally go through. And then at an angle, slide them in. Is this the right angle? No, this is the right angle. And at least for clip-ons, you'll see weird notches, sections with notches. Those notches are where those clips were earlier. So you push the backside where the stabilizer wires go into the back end section, and then the opposite of where the wires are is where the notches are. That's at least for clip-on stabilizers. So we have to wiggle them in properly, and then you should be able to just push them down. As I struggle to do so, like my instructions said. Oh. A little bit stiff, and it might be in the way, but just make sure to wiggle them appropriately, and you should be fine. Not wrong. I know I'm not wrong. I'm not stupid. I'm simply incompetent. In other words, I do not know how to do this properly. However, I'm trying to do it anyway. What is going on? Why are you not going in? I know you're going in. Did I make a mistake there? You know what? I'll try it the other way around. So reverse my instructions. Again, I take that statement back. I am stupid and incompetent, apparently. Ah, yes, I am stupid and incompetent. It goes the other way around. So the notches are where the wire goes, not the other way around. And then you can just push them in. Yeah, because I was looking at the wrong notches. I remember something about notches. So that should be fine. We're gonna test it a little bit here. Gonna grab a stem holder, aka a jeweler's claw, and give them a little shaky shake. They're not too bad. I wish I had the silencing pad. At one point, I think I'll get some silencing pads and put them underneath the stabs. I believe I have some. I'm not digging them out today. I'm not. I just am not. Okay. Now we are going to grab this and do it to the rest of the keyboard. Yeah. I don't know, I find it relatively chill just to do stuff like this. And I don't know, I said I would be doing Mario Kart 8 tomorrow, so after this, definitely gonna be doing some Apex, because it's been a while since I did some Apex. I was doing a bunch of stuff, but I will have an hour off, or hour and a half off, just so that I can get some work done on the YouTube channel. Because the next one's gonna be a desk setup guide. and pseudo desk tour, because I find that desk tours is fine. It's just if people don't tell you why they do the desk setups the way they do, they're just like, oh, because it works fine for me. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, but why do you specifically choose to do that? I understand it works fine for you. However, how do I get help in making my own? And like I said earlier, a lot of people look at setups like Andre Viduza, Linus from Linus Tech Tips, and like, yeah, but they got millions of followers and stuff. Where do you think they started? Linus literally started by reviewing motherboards and unboxing them, because he can do that at work, put them back, and then go back in, grab another one, and do the same thing again and again and again. They didn't even have a bedroom. They didn't even do it in the bedroom. They used to do it in a bedroom, but now they have an entire office building to themselves. Okay, we're gonna do this again. Wire towards the notch sections, and you can see on left and right hand sides there are sections to match the bumped out edges of the stabilizers. Put the wires in first at an angle. They should slide in, and once they're slid in, you should be able to push down and you hear a click. Just like that, click. Boom. And now, again, we grab our jeweler's claw and give them a little shake. We'll probably be doing that later, but as you can hear, it is slamming against the PCB, which is probably part of why there's sound. However, because now they are better lubed, they shouldn't have as much sound as previously. But do not, whatever you do not lube the bottom. Stop, just don't lube the bottom. Yes. And the reason for that is they will become sticky. It will stick to the bottom, and if you don't have sufficient spring weight or spring pull upwards, it won't release. You might have a problem on your hands. Okay. Now that we are here, right, I have to lube these as well. All right, 2 more stabilizers and we should be good. I like the longer stabilizers because I can just hold them and I don't have to worry about getting lube all over my hands. I need a little bit more. And honestly, I think I'm using a little too... I'm not using quite enough, which is the problem. All right. All right. Push that through. And 1 second. All right. Yeah, so be careful with this section, guys. As you can see, it's a T section. That T section, you can break them. So be careful with that. Don't press too hard, and if it starts looking like it's about to break, back off a little, rearrange yourself, and calmly insert the shaft into the hole without... Oh my god. I said without going too crazy. Even the right orientation? Yes, it should. Come on. And if it doesn't want to go in the hole, you're in the wrong hole. You're probably in the wrong hole. Other hole? The right hole? Can't even tell from this angle. Alright, there we go. You're in the right hole. So yes, like I said, just calm down, don't panic, and you will get through. Alright. Again, wire side in the notched section, and then matching those side humps or side bumps to the cutouts on the side of the... Oh my god. There we go. On the side of the plate. Alright, so this will be the plate. Underside, that's the PCB, where all the electronics are. I wouldn't worry about electronics being too bad, but as long as you do not spray them with water, you should be fine. So as long as you don't bridge contacts, even if you get water on it, you might be fine. Might be fine. Not necessarily be fine, but there is a high possibility that you will be fine. Right. Now that that's Good. This is the last stabilizer. I think they are using a different lube than normal. I think, yes, thicker lubes are the best for stabilizers because they rattle inside their housing. If they rattle inside their housing, you want thicker lubes to match with that. That way they rattle less while also lubricating so that they do not have this scratchy feel to them either. There you go. Loop that a little bit. There you go. Should be fine. Alright, last one. Stabilizers, push this in. Twist it in. And then again, wire towards the notches over in the bottom, at least for this board. So there's notches in the other side. You can see there is no notch. And then you see on the side there is notches as well. That's where you want to line them up. Push them in. Them down. Alright. You hear a click. 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 There you go. Boom. Now, what you can do, instead of filling the entire thing with switches and keycaps, we're gonna grab one switch for each of the stabilizers. And we're gonna do a quick test. Let's see if that's any better. Even though we haven't lubed the switches quite yet. We want to know if it's better. We don't necessarily need to know that they're lubed. Okay. There you go. Now that that's done, let's move this to the side here. Boom. Grab that. And that is the enter key, the backspace, and the left shift. Because we are on a 65% board. Much smaller board. I don't know. I find that having just a 65% is more than enough for most people. For a lot of people who think like, oh no, I need my numpad. Like, no, you don't need your numpad. You're not a streamer. You've never streamed, period. Okay, it's cleaner. It's still noisy. This is the worst out of the bunch. But not much I can do there. That's fine. Okay, where do I? Okay. Another part of the hobby are hobby syringes, which is what we're gonna use right now to see if we can fix this issue. I swear to God, this is not anything sus. This has never been anything sus. Just push them in where the wire is. And you go a little bit. Same with the other. Because you can always add more lube versus remove the lube. It's much harder to remove the lube than it is to... how do I say it? Oh, you're right. These are clip-ons. Clip-ons are much harder to do. Oop, too much. A little more quiet. There you go. Not crazy. Alright. Let's try to lube this one a little bit more with the syringe. Nothing crazy. Again. This is much harder. Oh, it's a little bit. Not much. A little bit. Much. That might have been too much, but we'll find out. On the other side as well. There we go. There you go. A little bit silent in comparison. There you go. Less clicking. Okay, we'll fix that one as well. Looks like this guy needs a little bit more. Or an excess bit. Yeah. A lot of this, I think dielectric grease, I think Alex Sotos is completely right. Dielectric grease might be the play for a lot of switches. Stabilizers, not switches specifically. Because it has a lot of viscosity to it. And I think that helps. And without being too mushy. Alright, it's not crazy, it's much cleaner. Alright, we're gonna call that good enough. Because I'm not gonna stand here and I don't have as much experience as someone as like Alex Sotos, who has done this way too many times in comparison to someone like me who has done this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times in total. Meanwhile, that's just 1 year for a keyboard streamer. Oh, did I just hit the camera? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess. Okay, and grab this. We are going to grab, we're going to take this, we're going to set these aside. Take this off, take this off. 3 and 4. And what we're going to do is, because I always have at least the arrow keys be unlubed, that way we can give it a slight comparison. Not 1-to-1 obviously, but it is better than nothing. We're going to keep 4 on the board, unlubed, so you can hear it. You can hear some of that ping. And then we are going to just lube. We're going to put this, let's actually put this back together first. That way we aren't going to be too messy. In. I think we were in Windows and Android on the right hand side. We are going to plug this back in. Yes, this is the orientation you're looking for. Remember, always take your time when you can take your time. You don't have to rush things, even if you are in a rush, because you will make mistakes. When you make mistakes, you will simply be repeating the same task you were trying to complete in the first place. Therefore, you know what would make this more silent? Some foam. It's relatively easy to take apart, so we might not do that. Right hand side. And hope that this. Alright. Lined up. That lined up. Alright, the switches lined up. The other switches, the ones on the side, as you can see here, boom, they look like they're working fine. And we are going to screw them together. Well, actually, let's test them out. Oh, there they are. Alright, so that's on. It's connected to battery. I guess you guys didn't see it. Oh, no, I have it incorrectly set. This is why you check. You check first. You are set for some reason all the way up. Nope. Not quite right. Nope. I still can't. Nope. I still can't. Oh, I might have gotten it. I might have gotten it. I just dilly-dallied. Nope. Nope. I have the other one. Not that the other switch matters as much. We're gonna go all the way to the right. Okay. I'm gonna take this other switch all the way to the right. And with the right hand side. Make sure it matches. See if we can seat that properly. Okay. Off. Middle. And back. Ooh, the RGB. Alright. Looks like we have it in the correct position. We can now put the screws back in. Like I said, take time. Don't go crazy. Assuming that you aren't already insane. Oop. What's going on? Uh-oh. One. Okay, so these are what seems to be self-tapping screws. So it's much harder to get a correct orientation on these. And like I said again, always the star. Ooh. You might want to turn this off before you screw more. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. No more. No more RGB. Okay. Yes. Alright. Push this down. Same with the other side. Okay, that's good enough. Honestly, not flat enough for my tastes, but you know. There. Remember, with keyboards, you don't actually have to press all the way down. It just has to be tight enough that it holds things in place. It doesn't have to be cranked all the way tight. There's no tension required. Basically, it's a wedge that's there to stop your keyboard from flying out its case. Yeah, these are self-tapping. I don't like that. And again, even if you thread into each other, that should be fine. There you go. Nothing crazy. All right. Push this thing down. Ta-da! Now for the hard part. What we're going to be doing is putting this aside. We're going to be taking apart each and every one of these. And after that, lubing them. So this here. Oh damn. A lot of dust. A lot more than I remember there being, but you know. There you go. Enough. Grass brush, guys. Grass brush. Amazing, amazing item. I don't even know if you can buy this anymore. Okay. All right. So tools that you would need is a switch opener. I'm gonna grab this one. Whoops. Because I have the Kale and the regular Gateron or MX style. Okay. This is the incorrect section. Well, you go in one way and you just press down. Okay. My right thumb has gone through hell the past this year. But okay, let's see. Looks like no, these are not lubed whatsoever. Just want to see. Yes. There you go. Looks like they are not lubed, which is why they are scratchy and relatively pingy. Alright, I'm gonna put this here. Like I said, if you stop, take the time to think of what you're gonna be doing next, it should help. This is a spring lube bag, or basically it has lube already in it, but we're gonna put some extra lube. That way we can make sure that it is unlubed. It is lubed by the end of the day. Grab this, separate into their individual parts. This is not lubed either. Boom. Gold plated by the looks of it. Oh, I'm not doing that mistake. Alright. Alright, let's put this to the left hand side. I don't know why I moved. Oh, I moved to the right to clean it up. Alright, and then the right hand side, we're gonna keep all of our other switch parts. So here goes that. And 3 parts. Some people use bowls to keep them completely separated, but given the amount of switches that we're doing today, it shouldn't matter, honestly. There we go. Easy peasy. This one here, this one there. Oh yeah, this is effectively a lot of work. It's especially with this hobby. If you don't enjoy kind of just doing this, you know, this busy work, I guess, you might not like it, especially if you are doing this constantly compared to some other people. Some people do this once, call it a day, and their end game board is literally their first keyboard, and that's fine too. You don't have to keep searching, and that's part of what makes endgame endgame. It is the end of your game. This is it. This is the best you will do and ever will do because you choose it to be so. It doesn't have to be anything in specific. It doesn't have to be the best keyboard of all time. It just has to be the best keyboard that you own. And same goes with headphones or any other hobby. I build Pokemon decks as a hobby sometimes, and honestly, the game has changed so much and so little simultaneously that it's kind of weird. Where back in the day there were cards like Gardevoir EX, and right now there is a Gardevoir EX with relatively the same attack as before, and they're trying to capture that same lightning in the bottle that they captured previously. One of the nicer things about this, what's it called, this version of Pokemon that they have right now is, how do I say it, it's 10 times more accessible, or it feels much more accessible. You can just buy a theme deck nowadays and have a decent working deck. It's not for children only. And they realize children aren't stupid, so they give them cards that will make a working and viable deck versus having cards that, you know, that it looks nice, but that's it. It's like, oh my god, I got this cool Pokemon, and that's it to the deck. There's nothing else about the deck. I don't know if it's the same in other card games where they would go through one or the other, but you know, yeah. I've actually wanted to try other silent switches. I think I saw blue-yellow switches, silent macaws, and I don't know about macaws being silent, but they're called silent macaws, and it seems like they are some really good switches because no one's bought them yet. Or they keep ordering some. It never goes out of stock. The other one switch I kind of want to try is because I think they're on sale right now from, what's it called, Desk Hero here in Canada, where it's, I think, one of the better switches because it comes pre-lubed or doesn't have to be lubed. Gateron Oil Kings. Yeah. So it sounds crazy. And it honestly, coming from the Middle East, Oil King, oh man. Yo. That sounds like a deal. That sounds like my kind of board. I've been there. Yeah. I don't know if they're called Oil Kings over there. I don't believe they are. Then again, my Arabic isn't that great either. Oh no. Single stage springs. Okay. But yes, gold leaf, single stage spring. These are, I forget, I think these are 60 grams or 62 grams for the Healios. Yeah. They aren't on the light side. And honestly, I prefer switches that are on the somewhat heavier side just because I type heavily. I'm not a light typist by any means. And some people, they type just kind of by swiping, and I did type by swiping at one point, but I slowly devolved into typing like a gorilla, just slapping the keyboard. So I can't sustain light typing. Yeah. And that's the thing. I should probably schedule these streams at one point because I'm going to do this. I'm going to go do scripting for the desk video, the setup video, and then, what's it called? After desk setup. Let's see. No idea, actually, at this point. Oh, come on. Open up, open up. Uh-oh. But basically, yes, that's the thing that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do no no mushroom time trial runs and seeing how fast I can get. Basically turning Mario Kart into F1, but you know, not quite. It's just one of those things that I like to do ever since I was a kid. What I wanted to do, because back then with Mario Kart, there was these Nintendo Ghosts, and if you beat the first Nintendo Ghost, you get to go against the second Nintendo Ghost, which is like the star Nintendo Ghost. These guys, oh my god, they were fast. They were fast. They showed you the shortcuts and all that. Not that, I don't know if there was 3 stages to it, but I wish they did that on the new Mario Karts. But that doesn't seem like they do. At least I don't remember them. I'm gonna try doing them later tomorrow, because we're just gonna go through all the tracks just to get a little bit more familiar with them. I thought I'd have to unlock them, but it seems like that's not the case. You actually just have them if you have the pass, or the Family Plus member pass, and then you should be able to just go get through the through the thing. Hold up, let me just... Alright, yeah, no, my brother was looking for some wireless headphones. I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4? 5? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I was 5. Jesus Christ. I am laden with headphones. It's horrible. And great at the same time. I actually like it, honestly. 1 headphone for every occasion. Amazing. Oh my god. It's been an hour already? God, I might actually go get some water, guys. It's been an hour already. And all I've done is not even everything. I've taken apart the board, which is fine. An hour in? That should have taken me about 30 minutes. But I guess we were doing codes and talking as well. If I wasn't streaming, this would be done so much faster. I'd just be watching, I think... Who's up? Yeah, no, I was watching Haruka and Giga earlier, and I did notice Clackbait was on as well. So you guys are better off there, because he is technically a much better streamer than I am. You know, one of their one of the better guys in the scene. He has such a nice B-roll, honestly, and a chill voice. I don't. I'm high-pitch hyper voice. Oh, hold up. Close it. Yeah, and then open it. There we go. Yeah. All right. So Sennheiser. I'm gonna do a review on the Sennheiser Momentum Wireless 3. Not True Wireless 3. That's different. The Wireless 3s, or Momentum 3s specifically, they used to have an issue where you can't turn them off by holding the power button or the pairing button. You have to turn them off by folding them, which is technically a good design. However, if you were gonna store them in the open position, you had no way to turn them off. So there was a firmware update for it that enabled that function. Yeah. But to turn them on, you have to close the case. You have to fold the headphones in and then unfold them, which is honestly not the best thing. It's like, why? Because I don't think there is a switch to allow it. The only way it knows how to turn on is literally that physical switch that's inside the folding mechanism. And I think that's a horrible choice, because once that folding mechanism fails, you cannot turn it on and or off. If you turned it off the wrong way, oh, you're done. It's gone. Gone, bud. So, in other words, don't do it. Just don't. That was a brilliant and horrible decisions simultaneously. Oh yeah, this works. Then you realize users have issues using it in that specific fashion. So I would not recommend it in that way. The new ones, the Momentum Force, doesn't seem to have that problem, but I don't remember anyone talking about that specific issue on the Momentum 3s either before I bought them. One of the reasons I do these types of reviews is, one, I already have the headphones, so I'm just going to do the reviews. Same with the Switches right now. But yeah, it's less about, you know, keeping things here. And I don't think I've bought... Have I bought headphones for this year? What did I buy? I did not buy headphones this year. I don't have the money for it, unfortunately. Various issues, of course. But that's the thing. I think I should buy budget this year. I should buy some budget stuff, or, you know, relatively cheap stuff this year, and see what it sounds like. Because I'm hearing, or at least I'm seeing all across the internet on the people that I follow on YouTube, that there are so many budget things. Critical is making one. Bad Seed Tech reviewed it. Zeos reviewed it. Zeos has made some collabs as well. I think his is mostly color scheme. It doesn't really do much in terms of sound. He probably asks a few things here and there, but I don't think he touches the sound too much. He just wants to not fuck with a good thing, as he would probably most eloquently put it. However, I don't know, if anyone was to design something, I would design something completely out there. Not completely out there, but one of the things, oh no, that shouldn't work because XYZ. And I'm like, all right, cool. I won't work because XYZ. Let's find a solution to that. What is the solution to XYZ? What is that solution? You know, how can you have horribly bassy headphones but have controlled bass? That's been solved by the Campfire, what's it called? Cascades. They have the most bass out of any headphone without being muddy. They are so bass heavy without stepping all over the mids. However, everything sounds loud. The problem is they sound very loud. I did a review on them in terms of being able to use them productivity wise, and they didn't do too bad. However, I think, you know, actually it's one of those weird things where I think it was, oh jeez, no, not that way. That one goes over there. Alright. I think it didn't do too bad. Sennheiser Momentum, like I said, which my roomie is using, is going to be, what's it called? One of those things where I could where I should be able to go through. Nope, that's... See, nice neat piles. Right, guys? So yeah, you don't have to go crazy. No mess, no fuss. There you go. Hopefully I don't prick myself, because the last time I was opening switches, Glorious Links, I literally poked myself and it was literally bleeding. I was like, oh man, immediately. Yeah. But yeah, I had to use the washroom for about a couple minutes, ensure that it wasn't bleeding before coming back on stream. Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't all over stream, because if it was all over stream, I'd be done. I'd just be like, nope, never mind, I'm done. But it wasn't, so that's good. Not many people also know about silent switches as well. They just know your regular red, blue, and brown instead of just everything else. And I think silvers have gained popularity because of the whole gaming thing where, oh yeah, it's much faster, therefore you... No. Given how you press the button, given the response rate of buttons in general like that, it's not that much different, to be honest. I think the perception that you are faster using a specific keyboard switch is much more... has a bigger effect than the actual travel time of the switch. Because, like I said previously, perception and reality, while they are two different things, I think perception affects you more than reality. Because if you perceive reality as one thing, you will base everything off of that perception, not the actual reality. So any of the decisions you make will be on the perception of the world. Same with the current scientists that work. Oh wait, they don't base things off perception. No, but that's the thing. We build tools to increase our perception. Therefore, we can see more of the science beneath everything, of why the world works the way it works. There are things that we don't know. We just know that light. No, like even light. We don't know how that works. We know certain properties of light. We don't see everything about light. So we're continuously developing tools to make better ways to see what light can do and why it does what it does and why it doesn't act like how it acts. And apparently light, despite being the fastest thing in the world, is terribly slow. So they're speculating that there might be something faster than light. There should be something faster than light, but there shouldn't be something faster than light. Whatever the opposite of light is, instead of lack of light. Oh my god, there we go. Ow. Didn't poke myself. We're fine. Yeah. Switches. Silent switches. Honestly, quiet switches versus silent switches. I find that a lot of companies say, oh, by the way, the reds and browns, they're quiet. They're not quiet. I've been trying to use them in a work environment previously, and no, they are not quiet, especially depending on the case. If the case is not muted, you will 100% hear all of those switches, and it is terribly noisy, honestly. Okay, going through here, going through that, and even something like the Keychron or the Cooler Master. I really like the Cooler Master from way back in the day, and I still have them in the background. I do bring them out once in a while just to play with them, but honestly, I've modeled them after chiclet keys, very much like the laptop I used to have. But I think I have a better solution to the new quote-unquote chiclet key I would be making. It would be effectively, it would be the what's it called? Speed switches. That way the really thick rubber for the O-rings aren't going to mess with it too much. But it has that sound you would hear from the chiclet keys, because when it returns, it smacks onto the top of the switch housing, so you can still hear it. So I'm not going to use silent switches, but I'm going to use O-rings to reduce the travel distance while not reducing the, what's it called? While being able to press the switches with no issues because of the speed switches, because of the actuation distance is going to be under 1 mil or at 1 mil. And I wonder if there are issues going under 1 mil for the switch actuation point, because I think it is plus or minus 0.5 millimeters. And if you can get a little more accurate than 0.5 millimeters, let's say 0.2, I think it might be possible to go to 0.8 millimeters actuation point versus 1 millimeter. Because right now that's where we're at. 1 millimeter seems to be the lowest or quickest actuation point that is available as of current. I think 0.9 might exist, but I think that's more to do with the tolerances more than anything. Oh yeah, I think that would be it. All right, almost done. We can start lubing these switches, putting them back together, doing a typing test, and then into Apex. So 5 remaining, and it only took me 20 minutes to get here. Whew. I do like these really chill stuff from Streambeats. Paraseller did a good job, and whoever made part of this, I forget the other guy's name. But he has a small team that does make a lot of these tracks available to a lot of streamers for free, and I do like that. And they get paid by Spotify just because we listen to them and we use them on stream, therefore it's always on. And I'm 50-50. I feel like I should be paying for Spotify Duo, that way I have this, because if I'm gonna start streaming, what's gonna happen is my whole Spotify 2023 list is gonna say, wow, you listen to Stream Beats for 50 hours. No, I didn't really. I was just streaming them. But I guess you are technically listening to it, as you know we are right now. Nice and calming. I don't hate it. I don't know. I think I might try backing track just for some rock and roll. But I don't know about doing that on a stream where it's normally supposed to just be chill. Here. Okay, so that's done. We are going to be able to get some Krytox 205 grade 0. Where are you? Here you are. Come here. I'm gonna grab a whole lot of them. Boom. So a big lot, as you can see. We're gonna grab that, put it all over the case, all over this little baggie here. We're not gonna care where it is in particular. I kind of like to know that it is all over the bag, making it a little easier to say, yeah, if I shake this, it should go all over the, what's it called? The springs. So as you can see, we're gonna shake them, we're gonna move them around. Don't squish them too hard that you bend them, but you know, just make sure everything is coated. Everything touched the side of the wall at one point, and you should be fine. This does help. And then shaking it helps too, if you're able to. If it is big enough. If you have enough space. There you go. Other motions are available. Now that it's all lubed, we are going to start putting things together. Let's grab here. Alright, so some tweezers are very helpful in this endeavor, because we're gonna separate the switches a little bit. That way we can set them out, and we should be able to then just use them. Grab that guy. Take some time. Alright. But yeah, gold leaf springs. I wonder if there is a spring design that will allow the springs to not create a lot of ping. Because if a lot of the energy of moving is just the spring, what's it called? The spring resonating in its case, there might be a lot of force on the table. So a lot of the pingier springs might just be 2 to 3 grams lighter than they normally would be, than you would actually think. So that might be the case with some of these switches. There you go. Okay. I think that's enough for now, and we'll just grab some a little later. Alright. There we go. Alright. We're gonna lube these. The best way is to grab the stem holder or the jeweler's claw. This is what you call this little item here. There might be some higher end versions. You lube your brush. For me, I would just grab a huge bunch and put them on the cap. The reason for this is because I want to be able to cover the rest of the Krytox or the rest of the lube, allowing it to not get dusty, effectively. So you're not dusting everything. All right. Here's the problem with these types of switches. As you can see in the bottom there is those white parts instead of just orange. They are actually rubber stoppers, gaskets. They're rubber pieces, basically. They are rubber pieces, and those rubber pieces, if you put lube on them, chances are they get a little sticky because they create suction. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to avoid those rubber pieces while lubing most of the switch. So to do that, we're going to just lube mostly the sides here, this top section. Lube that. We're gonna lube the legs, so it's a little smoother, right? And we're gonna just lube a little bit on the sides. We're not gonna go on the top and the bottom, because if we go on the top and the bottom, what will happen is we might touch those rubber sections. We're gonna do it on everything else except for those rubber sections. So you want just a sheen. You'll see a sheen on it, and you'll be fine. Lube those sides, lube that little leg, and do our best to avoid the rubber gasket section. We'll do a couple of these first, and we'll put a couple of switches on. We can do a preliminary test. That way it's not crazy. Yeah, this is a lot of busy work that you'd effectively be doing if you just start the hobby and you don't want to do this. Luckily enough, the new people don't have to do this. This is just for the old folks. This is for people who've done it